Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Annie, and this is Unity Consciousness. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I'd like to welcome our new subscribers and thank those of you who are returning for this week's energy update. Let's jump right in. Mercury is very active this week. We'll start with today. We talked about this last week, but anyway, let's talk about it again. Mercury, which is in the sign of Pisces, is going to trine Mars in Cancer. And this is very strategic or synchronistic energy, great for planning. But what I really like about this energy is today is the day, finally, that Mars is stationing to go direct in the sign of Cancer. It's been a very profound Mars retrograde season. And quite frankly, we're only 2/3 of the way through it. Mars entered shadow on the 4th of October, quite some time ago actually, and left the sign of Cancer, went into the sign of Leo, and then began a retrograde on the 6th of December, and then retrograded back to where it's at today, where it's stationing to go direct. So needless to say, Mars has stepped from heart-centered consciousness to a very ego-based situations and passion-centered drive, and then retrograded back into Cancer, which is home, family, but it's heart-centered. It's what we love and what we want to protect. By doing this, we have been reevaluating our passion and our drive. It's for purpose. It's to help us understand how we should be using our heart as a means of clarification relative to our drive and passion over the ego. The question we should be asking ourselves is the ego taking precedence over heart? That's really what we should be reminiscing on. Now, with Mars stationing to go direct, we are beginning the integration phase. We have entertained the same topic now twice with different energies. And we are smarter, we're wiser, we've reevaluated many things, and now we want to integrate the lessons, the wisdom that we've learned into the passion, so that we come out of this when Mars is fully up to speed and out of shadow, which is the 2nd of May. We've got some time here. When it comes out, we are that much more wise but integrated with all the lessons that we've learned. And there's a lot going to be happening. We're going to talk about that in a minute, between now and the time that Mars is fully up to speed. That's going to create other opportunities for the other personal planets that really help us on an individual level, not the collective planets, the personal planets that help us each and every day define who we are. So they are going to be retrograding, and they're going to help us when we come out of the other side of this in May, basically with a whole different understanding. Anyway, I digress. Let's get back to this week's energy. Then on the 25th, we will have Mercury conjunct Saturn. Very different energy. Like I said, Mercury's busy this week. So first it is that trine with Mars, which I like. Mars is kind of helping Mercury understand the wisdom that he has gained. And now Mercury conjunct Saturn is a moment of a reality check. This could be communications that come in that cause a pause. It's a reality check. This could be a very stark communication, a difficult conversation. Be diligent with your words here and how you speak, because those words and the manner in which you present yourself, they definitely have weight and they definitely have consequence. Mars really shared a lot when the two of them were harmonizing on Sunday and moving forward. So as Mercury moves forward and hits each of these planets this week, He's carrying those messages from Mars, that Mars has the wisdom that Mars has gained during his retrograde cycle. Okay, anyway, so Mercury conjunct Saturn, and there is a stark reality check moment, if you will. Then on the 27th, then Mercury bumps into Uranus in form of sextile. Now this is do something to get something. So it's almost like the challenging conversation when Mercury conjunct Saturn that was difficult to have, where you had to understand the gravity of your words and or listen to the gravity of someone's words and integrate them in a very reality check moment. Now the breakthrough is coming. It's Uranus, so, and it's a sextile. Do something to get something. So it's a challenging conversation, we'll say, that creates a breakthrough, perhaps raising your consciousness, and it may take you by surprise. It doesn't necessarily have to be negative, however. Somebody could have had a reality check moment, and then they pivot, and it's a surprise moment, a reality based higher level consciousness. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize this. Let me share it with you. And it's very enlightening and very surprising. So I do like that energy. But there's some mercurial energy this week that we're going to be working with, that's for sure. Then also on that same day, a little bit later, we will have a new moon in the sign of Pisces at 9 degrees. There are so many planets in Pisces. Let's see, we've got the sun and the moon. It's a new moon. So the sun and the moon are there. We have Saturn there. We have Mercury there. We have Neptune there. And the North Node is there. So this speaks of heightened emotions, heightened spirituality. Dreams can be profound. I've been having crazy dreams all weekend, really, really good dreams, prophetic dreams that I remember very, very, very clearly. It might be worth putting a notepad next to your bed in case you also have a dream that you want to take note of. Be mindful on the physical plane. Whenever we have a new moon in Pisces with this number of planets, of course the sun is a star, but I refer to it as a planet. With this number of planets in the sign of Pisces, there could be flooding on the physical plane, but that also speaks of our emotional flooding. There could be a clearing that happens. I really see this as a time to surrender to the divine flow, especially because Mars is now direct, and we will have the other personal planets going in retrograde. It's time to surrender. It is time for us to also move into that 12th house energy. We are approaching the doorway to eclipse season. In just a couple weeks, we're going to have our first eclipse. And then just 2 weeks later, the next eclipse. And this is on the new nodal axis cycle. Neptune is changing signs the end of March. That's going to be a collective shift in consciousness. And that in conjunction with Mercury retrograde, Venus retrograde, the month of March is huge. It's just huge. So I see this new moon as an opportunity. We want to set an intention here. As an opportunity to really step into the divine flow. To the divine flow. We're going to surrender to the divine flow that allows the new to come into us. Now on Saturday is a profound day. Mercury is going to enter shadow. So what's interesting also about the personal planet retrograde seasons, again, Mars was Leo and Cancer, went into Leo, back to Cancer, and that's an entirely different heart-centered and ego-based type reality check that we went through. Well, now we will have Mercury and Venus that will be dancing between Pisces and Aries. And what I find so profound about that is they will be, and again, they are, this is after Mars has gone direct, but remember, Mars will not be fully up to speed till March 2nd. So let's review Mercury's retrograde and then Venus's retrograde timing. Mercury goes into shadow this Saturday. He enters Aries on the 3rd, so he goes from Pisces into Aries. On the 15th of March, he goes retrograde. Then on the 29th of March, he goes back into Pisces. Then on the 7th of April, he goes direct in the sign of Pisces. Then on the 26th of April, he comes out of shadow. Let's talk about Venus for a minute. Venus is going to go retrograde on Saturday. Stations to go retrograde on Saturday of this week. Very pivotal day. That would be the 1st of March. Then Venus is going to re-enter Pisces in retrograde motion on the 27th of March. She's going to go direct on the 12th of April. Then on the 30th, she's going to re-enter Aries and not come out of shadow until the 16th of May. So our personal planets will be going retrograde and dancing between Aries, the sign of the I Am, and into Pisces, which is this ethereal new moon energy that we're experiencing. And like I say, we want to surrender to this divine flow so that we can really align with these consciousness shifts that are coming very, very quickly. Neptune is going to move into the sign of Aries. Out of Pisces into Aries, we're noticing a pattern here. Our personal planets are acclimating. We are getting a greater refined sense of the I Am as the collective planets begin their movement. Again, Neptune, the end of March, will go into the sign of Aries. In May, after our personal planets have acclimated, we will have Saturn moving out of Pisces and into Aries. Now, Saturn and Neptune are going to go retrograde, and they'll be retrograde until they go hand in hand together next February back into Pisces. This is our moment in time when our personal planets are acclimating. We are going through retrograde motion, the recalibration, if you will, of 12th house energy so that we can have a greater refined sense of the self, that true I Am. Very pivotal time indeed. Anyway, I digress. With Venus going retrograde, we'll talk more about Mercury retrograde next week. I'm going to run out of time here. But Venus retrograde, because she's actually going retrograde this weekend, this isn't shadow, she's been in shadow. We want to be mindful of relationships, investments, cosmic procedures that are cosmetic procedures. If they are elective, I would hesitate. I would think if you really want that, or a tattoo, massive changes or changes to the hair, changes to the wardrobe. And like I said, if you have a relationship that starts really quickly, just know, have fun with it if that's what you choose to do, but it may not last long. That's what Venus retrograde is all about. We are going to be reassessing those things, our prosperity, love, and relationships and that sort of thing. The only caveat here is if your natal placement of Venus is retrograde, this is your time. Venus goes retrograde about every 18 months or so. And if you have a natal Venus that is retrograde, this is your time to shine. You've been waiting for this for quite some time. The energy is very different. So use it however your Venus, your natal Venus sits, use it in that way. Obviously, if you've got a Venus direct, this is your retrograde that you want to be mindful. If your Venus is natally retrograde, this is your time to shine. Okay, so anyway, that's Venus retrograde. We can talk a little bit more as she moves through, but basically she is going to go direct on the 12th of April. She goes retrograde this Saturday, or stations to go retrograde. She will go direct on the 12th of April and completely out of her retrograde cycle on the 16th of May. Again, May is very pivotal. Next Sunday, a week from today, we will have the Sun in Pisces is going to square Jupiter. Now, this energy can be very challenging. It speaks of overconfidence or overindulgence. Be careful here. There could be something might come back to bite you that happened a little earlier in the week. Just be careful of your confidence level or overindulgence, because the sun is in Pisces and it talks about imbibing or escapism, let's just say. You may go overboard. As well, on the same day, Mercury is now at 28 degrees of Pisces and is conjunct Neptune. Great day for creativity. Excellent day for creativity. Not so good for clarity. Remember, Mercury is in shadow, so you'll be revisiting some of this energy. Well, that's basically what I have for you this week. I see the energy coming up, especially this pivotal energy with our personal planets, retrograde, Mars coming out of his retrograde, and integrating those lessons into heart-centered consciousness, stepping away from the ego, which takes precedence, the ego or the heart. We're integrating that now, and then our other personal planets, the other two, not sun, not moon, but the other two personal planets are going to go retrograde, so we can evaluate that as well. We are getting a snapshot of time moving forward. There are going to be significant changes coming. I am not kidding. We've got Uranus going into Gemini, and I believe that's in July. So big outer planetary shifts. I decided to use the Light Seer's Tarot deck this week because it is a new moon in Pisces, and I thought, let's use this deck. I love this deck. Love this. Chris Ann deck, actually. I can't make this up. The card that jumped out is Death and Rebirth. Cycles of transformation, rebirth, transition, change, new beliefs, newfound awareness, endings, a symbolic death, an initiation process. Let's continue. You are on the cusp of a massive transformation, and it's time to mourn the end of one phase while celebrating the birth of another. This energy of transmutation and rebirth signals a beautiful metamorphosis that will allow you to expand your consciousness and move closer to your own divine essence. A cycle in your life, a relationship, a belief, a career path, or an outdated plan for the future is coming to an inevitable end. Deep breathe in if this scares you, sweet light worker. This change is needed. Know that this card urges you to release what is already losing energy and to focus on things that are already gaining momentum. Welcome the possibility of something new and allow this phase to come to a graceful end. Look toward the magic of this newfound horizon, because underneath its morbid exterior, the Death card heralds exciting times filled with the brightness of so much potential. New light awaits. I allow myself to let go of the past in order to add energy to new beginnings. I'll repeat that. I allow myself to let go of the past in order to add energy to new beginnings. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. If you liked this video, please do click the like button. If you know someone that could be helped by this video, please do co-create with me and share it with them. Any comments or suggestions, post them in the box below. I'd love to hear from you. I truly appreciate you joining me today. I hope we have a week of understanding of who we are on the inside and the integration of the lessons that we've learned during Mars retrograde cycle. Have a fabulous week. Namaste.